Hi there, and welcome to another one of my classic reviews, where I pick one of my all-time favourite movies, give it a rewatch, and then come review it. And in this video I'm talking about La Haine, one of the most powerful and fascinating films of 1990s French cinema. It's a film that is really bone-shattering, and it's a really deep look at inequality, at class, at the state of affairs going on in France. It's about a world of hostility, it's about a world descending into violence, and it's about the underclass rising up. This is a film about three friends from a poor estate, and the previous day there's been riots. And the film takes place over like one day, and about the aftermath of the riots, and about their sort of journey through the city, and about the things they encounter, and about a series of events that are just leading on a downward spiral. There's a key emphasis here on the world falling, on the whole system collapsing, on everything in free fall, everything's descending. We're all just falling, society has collapsed. We have the very people at the bottom, the poor people who are oppressed, who feel like they have nothing, who feel like they have no worth, they're angry, they have no dignity, and they want to lash out and they fight back. And they fight back, and then the police crack down, and then the violence goes the other way, and then they fight back again, and it's this endless cycle, it's this free fall, it's this landing, and people might feel like right now they're doing okay, so far so good, but then they're gonna fall. And this is a film about that fall. It's about that moment. It's about the way that it's not just about how you fall, it's about how you land. But this isn't a film about landing, it's about like falling and then just splattering and violence and brutality. And it's a film about the way that society has led to this underclass that we have. It's about class. Class is the key aspect of this film, I think. I think it's about the poor people in society. It's about the underclass that has been formed through years of systemic oppression, through society not caring. There's a fascinating mixture of high art and low art in La Haine, and I think what's really important here is that low art and high art aren't things, they're all just fucking art. Art is art is art. And so you have this whole mixture, you have these art house techniques, you have these fantastical stylized black and white shots, you have these wholly fascinating moving swirling camera work, but at the same time you have rap culture, pop culture, working class culture. It's a film filled with rap music and pop music and filled with like stylish moments, but at the same time it's made with this real art house, metaphorical, voiceover, pretentiousness, sensibility. It's this mixture of the high and the low. It's bringing class closer together. It's making a film that is understandable to everyone on every level, and it appeals to people who are willing to think it, people who are also just willing to feel it. You don't need to engage you on an intellectual level, you just need to feel the realism and the rawness of it. It's a film of pure raw potential. It's the very unique film in its stylized social realism, a genre that we just really don't see. Social realism tends to be social realist. You don't get such stylized works like this. Films which are black and white, which only makes the difference between day and night kind of interchangeable. Films where the cinematography is flowing and moving. There's a fantastic sequence of someone playing rap music through their window, and the camera just glides across the sky looking down on everybody. We have these fantastic dream sequences, we have people dancing during a riot, we have a cow that appears, we have all sorts of random abstract ideas here. But it's all rooted in the character, it's all rooted in this realistic sense. I mean, the motto of France, liberty, equality, fraternity, do they really exist for the characters here? I mean, they have liberty, sure, they're free, but they're limited by their status in society, by the fact that they're immigrants, by the fact that they're poor, by the fact that they're not white. Or, for example, equality, are they equal? Because they certainly don't see it. Or are they fraternal? I mean, only in like a tribal sense. I mean, the police here are brutal in this film. There's a very nasty sequence involving straight up just racism between an interrogation between police officers and two non-white characters. There's this whole feeling of just oppression and just the poor are just being let down. There's a sign in the film which says the world is yours, which is a key idea that I think is brought up, which is the world is theirs, it can become anything. But that's not really true. It's a bland platitude trotted out to people who aren't at the bottom to tell them, hey look, anyone can be anything. And that isn't true. People don't feel like that. When it's difficult to get out, when it's difficult to make it to the next level in society, when it's difficult to go from the bottom, it's too difficult quite often. It's not easy, and people just don't seem able to do it. Perhaps a better saying is kind of applied in the film is the world is ours. The world is going to one day be the world of the rioters, the world of the poor who will uprise and who will uproot what is above them. And if we don't want that to happen, we need to do something quick about it. It's actually quite depressing to realise that the characters in La Haine and would now be in their 40s and the same problems are still here. It's a film which has never lost its relevancy, and I find that it's not just a French story. It's a film which I find as someone who lives in Britain, I find this is something you can see in Britain as well, and I'm certain you could apply it to America as well, and or to almost anywhere on the planet. There's a lot of things in Latin which are just really true to society. In the past few decades, the disparity between rich and poor has got wider, and the poor people are feeling angry. There's a lot of anger out there, and this is a film which really tackles that head on. It shows where that can lead, and it all leads to this incredibly brutal ending, which is one of the best endings in cinema. This is a film which merges so much. It merges high art, low art, it merges working class characters with rich areas. There's this whole thing between they go to a rich area and they see the difference, and police are polite to them, whereas back home the police hold guns as children walk past. It's a very strange world we live in that sense, in that just being wealthy or being white or being whatever really determines a lot, or it does at least to the world of these characters, and it does at least to this sensibility. I don't know quite how true this is to everyone's experience, but I think this is an emotional film. I think this is a film which draws on the emotional reality that people feel. They feel like they're being treated differently, they feel like they're being crushed, they feel like everything is working against them, and we've got to somehow tackle that, and I think that's fascinating. I think it's a film which really uses its ideas as a platform to not necessarily make a political point per se. I think it's actually not really making a statement that is as overt as it might seem. I think it's clearly sympathetic to people in the underclass. I think it's also a film which looks it fairly even-handedly. I think it has this massive arc about a character wanting to kill a cop, as he tells in these sort of dream sequences, as he shows us when he sort of stares wide-eyed directly into the camera and like fantasises and talks about it, and it's an odd thing learning to not be violent, learning to avoid violence, learning to step away from those really nasty moments that you could end up in if you don't avoid it. And as the film is about, it's about learning to get there, it's about feeling good in the moment. But the problem is, it's not how you feel good right now, it's about how you land it. It's about what happens when you do get to where you want to be. You might eventually realise you don't want to be violent, but that doesn't mean the world will be violent to you. It's about that moment where you've landed in the world and you go, right, this is who I am. And now what? And who knows what moment, what small second of time will change your life. Who knows what that moment will be, and it might really define the rest of your existence, or the rest of the existence of your friends. It's a very hard-hitting film. It's honest, it's truthful, it's bone-shattering, it's nasty, but it's also human, it's a feeling. It's a film that just is flowing with fantastic execution and a fantastic sense of place. It's a film which is dissecting the world, it's dissecting French society and society at large in the Western world. It's a fantastic work and one of the real sort of masterpieces of modern French cinema. It's a really fantastic film and one of the real highlights, I think, of this kind of social realism, and I think it's one of clearly the best of its kind. So that's what I think of La Haine. I think it's an obvious classic. Have you seen La Haine? What do you think of it? I would love to hear your thoughts if you have, so please leave me a comment. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to hear more of my reviews, you can subscribe. If you want to read more of my reviews, you can follow me on Letterboxd or on Twitter. Links in the description. And thank you for watching.